Ever wonder how your grandparents kept their homes spotless without spending a fortune on fancy cleaning products? Or how they managed to make everything last twice as long without YouTube tutorials and life hack videos? Well, turns out they were sitting on a gold mine of household wisdom that we've somehow forgotten in our rush to buy the latest gadget for every single problem. Today we're counting down 25 genius household tricks that our grandparents used every single day. And honestly, you're going to wonder why nobody told you about these sooner. Some of these are so simple, you'll probably laugh, but trust me, they actually work better than most of the expensive stuff we buy today. So grab a notepad because you're definitely going to want to remember these. And hey, if this saves you even $5 on your next grocery trip, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Let's jump right in. Number 25. Baking soda for cleaning. Here's something your grandmother probably kept by the pound in her pantry: baking soda. Not for baking, mind you, but for cleaning literally everything. This stuff is like the Swiss Army knife of household products. Got a grimy sink? Sprinkle some baking soda, add a little water to make a paste, and watch years of stains disappear. The thing is, baking soda is a natural abrasive that's gentle enough not to scratch surfaces, but tough enough to remove stubborn grime. Your grandma probably scrubbed her stovetop with this after every Sunday dinner, and here's the kicker. It costs about 50 cents a box compared to those fancy cleaners that run you $5 or $6. She'd use it on her oven too. Make a thick paste, let it sit overnight, and in the morning, all that baked-on grease just wipes away. No harsh chemicals, no overwhelming fumes that make you feel like you need a gas mask. Just good old sodium bicarbonate doing what it does best. The really clever part is that baking soda actually neutralizes odors instead of just covering them up. So when Grandma cleaned with it, things didn't just look clean, they actually were clean. Plus, if you accidentally got some on your hands or even ingested a tiny bit, no big deal. Try that with modern oven cleaner and you'll be calling poison control. Number 24. Vinegar for fabric softener. Now this one might sound crazy at first, putting vinegar in your washing machine, but hear me out. Your grandmother knew that white vinegar was basically liquid gold when it came to laundry. Forget those expensive fabric softeners with their artificial fragrances and chemicals you can't even pronounce. Just pour half a cup of white vinegar into the fabric softener compartment and let it work its magic. The acetic acid in vinegar breaks down soap residue that makes clothes feel stiff. It literally strips away all that leftover detergent that's been building up in your fabrics for who knows how long. And here's what's really wild. It doesn't make your clothes smell like a salad. The vinegar smell completely disappears once everything dries. In fact, it actually removes odors. Got gym clothes that still smell funky even after washing? Vinegar takes care of that. Mildew smell in your towels? Gone. Plus, and this is the part that would make your grandma proud, it helps preserve the elasticity in your clothes. So those expensive yoga pants you bought will actually last longer. The vinegar also helps prevent colors from fading and reduces static cling. Basically, it does everything fabric softener claims to do, but better and for about 1/10 of the price. Number 23. Toothpaste to clean silver. Your grandparents' generation didn't run out and buy specialty silver polish every time the good silverware started looking a bit tarnished. Nope. They grabbed a tube of regular old toothpaste, not the gel kind, mind you, but the white paste variety. This trick works because toothpaste contains mild abrasives that are designed to clean your teeth without damaging the enamel. Turns out, those same gentle abrasives are perfect for removing tarnish from silver. Just squeeze a small amount onto a soft cloth, rub it gently on your silver jewelry or silverware, and watch decades of tarnish disappear like magic. The key word here is gently. You're not scrubbing a burnt pan. The toothpaste does most of the work for you. After you've covered the piece, rinse it with warm water and dry it with a soft cloth. Boom. It looks like you just brought it home from the jewelry store. Your grandmother probably cleaned her wedding ring this way every few months, and here's a bonus, it works on other metals too. Got some brass candlesticks that have seen better days? Toothpaste? Copper bottom pots looking dull? Toothpaste. It's basically a miracle worker for anything metal that's lost its shine. Number 22. Repurpose old coffee grounds. Coffee grounds. Most of us just toss them in the trash without a second thought. But your grandparents? They saw gold in those used grounds. First off, coffee grounds are an incredible deodorizer. Put a bowl of dried grounds in your fridge, and it'll absorb odors better than baking soda. Seriously. The nitrogen in coffee actually helps neutralize smells rather than just masking them. Got garlic or onion smell on your hands after cooking? Rub some coffee grounds on them. Gone instantly. But wait, there's more. Coffee grounds make an amazing exfoliant for your skin. Mix them with a little coconut oil, and you've got a body scrub that costs pennies compared to those fancy ones at the beauty store. The caffeine in the grounds can even help reduce the appearance of cellulite temporarily by improving blood flow to the area. Your grandmother probably didn't know the science behind it, but she knew it worked. And if you garden, oh boy, plants love this stuff. Coffee grounds are rich in nitrogen, which plants need to grow. Acid-loving plants like azaleas, rhododendrons, and blueberries absolutely thrive when you add coffee grounds to their soil. Just sprinkle them around the base of the plant or mix them into your compost. Your grandparents probably had the best-looking garden on the block, and this was part of their secret. Number 21. Citrus peels to freshen garbage disposal. That garbage disposal in your sink can start smelling like, well, garbage. But before you buy those expensive disposal cleaning pods, try what your grandma did. Save your lemon and orange peels. Every time you use a lemon for cooking or eat an orange, don't throw that peel in the trash. Toss it down the disposal instead. The natural oils in citrus peels are incredibly powerful deodorizers. Plus, the peels themselves help clean the blades as they get ground up. It's like giving your disposal a spa treatment. The citric acid cuts through grease and grime that builds up over time, while the fresh citrus scent makes your whole kitchen smell amazing. Here's the pro tip your grandma knew. Freeze the peels in ice cube trays with a little water. The ice helps sharpen the disposal blades, while the frozen citrus chunks give everything a deep clean. Pop a couple of these citrus ice cubes down there once a week, and your disposal will never smell bad again. And unlike chemical cleaners, you're not putting anything harmful into the water system. It's completely natural, costs nothing extra since you were going to throw the peels away anyway, and it actually works better than most commercial products. Number 20. Newspaper for cleaning windows. Paper towels for windows? Your grandparents would laugh at that. They knew the secret to streak-free windows was yesterday's newspaper. Sounds weird, right? But there's actually science behind this. Newspaper doesn't leave lint behind like paper towels do. The ink acts as a mild abrasive that helps remove stubborn spots, and the paper itself is just absorbent enough to soak up the cleaning solution without falling apart. Here's how Grandma did it. Spray your window with a mixture of water and a little vinegar. Then crumple up a sheet of newspaper and wipe in circular motions. The key is the crumpling. It creates tons of edges that grab onto dirt and grime. Plus, newspaper is thinner than paper towels, so you can feel exactly where you need to apply more pressure. The best part? You're recycling something you were going to throw away anyway. Your grandparents didn't call it being eco-friendly, they called it being smart with money. One Sunday paper could clean every window in the house. Try doing that with a roll of paper towels that costs $4. And here's something else. The newspaper ink actually leaves an invisible film that helps repel dust, so your windows stay cleaner longer. Number 19. Old socks as dusting mitts. Before there were microfiber cloths and static charge dusting wands, there were old socks. Your grandmother never threw away a sock with a hole in it. That sock just graduated to a new job. Slip it over your hand like a mitt, and suddenly you've got the perfect dusting tool. The fabric of a worn sock is actually ideal for picking up dust. It's soft enough not to scratch surfaces, but has enough texture to grab onto dust particles. Plus, you can get into tight spaces that those fancy dusting tools can't reach. Sealing fan blades? Easy. Just slip the sock over each blade and slide it along. All the dust gets trapped inside the sock instead of falling on your furniture. Blinds are even better. Put a sock on each hand, spray a little furniture polish on them, and you can clean both sides of the blind slats at the same time. What would take 20 minutes with a regular cloth takes 5 minutes with the sock method. Your grandma probably had a whole drawer of these dusting socks. Different ones for different jobs. And when they got too dirty, just toss them in the washing machine and they're good as new. Well, good as old, but you get the idea. Number 18. Cornstarch for carpet cleaning. Carpet stains were no match for your grandmother's cornstarch arsenal. This stuff is basically the unsung hero of household cleaning. Got a greasy stain on your carpet? Don't panic, and definitely don't rub it in deeper with water. Grab the cornstarch instead. Sprinkle a generous amount directly on the stain and let it sit for at least 15 minutes. The cornstarch absorbs the oil like a sponge, then just vacuum it up. The stain comes up with the powder. It's like magic, except it's just science. Your grandma probably kept a box of cornstarch specifically for cleaning emergencies. But here's where it gets even better. Cornstarch also works as a carpet deodorizer. Mix it with a few drops of essential oil, sprinkle it all over your carpet, let it sit for half an hour, then vacuum. Your carpets will smell fresh without any of those artificial fragrances that trigger allergies. And if you've got pets, this is a game changer. Cornstarch can neutralize pet odors better than most commercial products. Plus, it's completely safe if your dog or cat happens to walk through it. Try saying that about chemical carpet cleaners. The cost difference is insane too. A box of cornstarch costs about $2 and can clean your carpets multiple times. Number 17. Save leftover bread for crumbs. Throwing away stale bread was basically a crime in your grandparents' house. That slightly hard loaf wasn't trash. It was the beginning of next week's meatloaf, or breadcrumb coating for chicken, or stuffing for Sunday dinner. They understood something we've forgotten. Stale bread is actually more useful than fresh bread for certain things. Here's what they did. Take that day-old bread, tear it into chunks, and pulse it in a food processor. Or if you're really old school like Grandma, grate it on a box grater. Now you've got fresh breadcrumbs that taste 10 times better than those sandy things in a can. Store them in the freezer, and they last for months. But breadcrumbs were just the beginning. Stale bread makes the best French toast because it soaks up the egg mixture without falling apart. It makes superior bread pudding for the same reason. And crushed up with some herbs and olive oil, it becomes the perfect topping for casseroles. Your grandmother probably had a specific drawer or tin where all the bread ends went. Nothing was wasted. Number 16. Lemon juice for stain removal. Before there was OxyClean, there was lemon juice. Your grandmother knew that this simple citrus fruit was basically bleach from nature. Got a stubborn stain on a white shirt? Squeeze some lemon juice on it, let it sit in the sun for an hour, then wash as usual. The citric acid breaks down the stain, while the sun amplifies the bleaching effect. It's like a 1-2 punch from Mother Nature herself. Coffee stains, wine stains, grass stains, they all surrender to lemon juice. But here's what's really clever. Lemon juice also works on hard surfaces. Those yellow stains in your bathtub, lemon juice and salt. The cutting board that's seen better days, lemon juice and coarse salt, scrub, and it looks brand new. Your grandma probably went through lemons like crazy, and not just for her tea. She knew that lemon juice could remove rust stains from clothes, brighten whites without harsh chemicals, and even remove those mystery stains that nobody wants to talk about. Mix lemon juice with cream of tartar, and you've got a paste that can tackle almost any stain on any surface. Number 15. Cucumber for removing pests. This one sounds like an old wives' tale, but it's absolutely true. Cucumbers repel ants and cockroaches. Your grandmother didn't need an exterminator, she had the produce aisle. Here's why it works. Cucumbers contain compounds that ants and roaches absolutely hate. Place cucumber slices or peels near ant entry points in your pantry or anywhere you've seen these pests, and watch them disappear. They won't cross that cucumber barrier. It's like an invisible force field made of salad ingredients. The best part is it's completely safe around kids and pets. No toxic sprays, no chemical residue, just cucumber doing what cucumber does. Your grandma probably kept cucumber peels specifically for this purpose. After making her cucumber sandwiches, those peels went straight to strategic locations around the kitchen. But wait, it gets better. Cucumber slices also work in the garden to deter certain pests. Slugs and snails won't go near them. Place rings of cucumber slices around plants you want to protect. It's organic pest control that you can eat when you're done. Number 14, aluminum foil for sharpening scissors. Dull scissors were never a problem in your grandparents' house, and they didn't own a fancy scissor sharpener either. They had aluminum foil. Take a sheet of foil, fold it over several times so you have about 6 to 8 layers, then cut through it with your dull scissors. Make long cuts from base to tip. After about 10 cuts, your scissors are sharp again. It's absolutely mind-blowing how well this works. The foil acts as a very fine sharpening stone, honing the blade edges as you cut. Your grandmother probably sharpened every pair of scissors in the house this way. Sewing scissors, kitchen shears, even those tiny nail scissors. All it took was a piece of foil that cost maybe 2 cents. But here's another foil trick she knew. Crumpled aluminum foil makes an excellent scrubber for your grill or oven racks. It's abrasive enough to remove burnt-on food but won't scratch the metal like steel wool might. And if you really want to blow your mind, a ball of aluminum foil in your dryer reduces static. Your grandparents didn't know why it worked, they just knew it did. Number 13, rubber band to open jars. That stubborn pickle jar was no match for Grandma's rubber band trick. While we're out here buying jar-opening gadgets and running jars under hot water, she just grabbed a thick rubber band, wrap it around the lid of the jar, and suddenly you've got superhuman grip strength. The rubber band increases friction dramatically, making it almost impossible for your hand to slip. This simple trick has probably prevented more jar-related frustration than any gadget ever invented. Your grandmother likely kept a few thick rubber bands in her kitchen drawer specifically for this purpose. But she didn't stop there. Rubber bands had dozens of uses in her household arsenal. Wrap one around a slipping cutting board to keep it in place. Put them around the ends of hangers to keep clothes from sliding off. Use them to keep cabinet doors closed if the latch is broken. She even used them to mark different family members' drinking glasses at parties. Different colored bands meant different people. No confusion, no extra dishes to wash. The versatility of a simple rubber band in your grandparents' hands was truly something to behold. Number 12. Repurpose old T-shirts for cleaning rags. Your grandparents never bought cleaning rags, ever. Why would they when every worn-out T-shirt was a future cleaning cloth waiting to happen? That shirt with the hole under the arm didn't go in the trash. It went to the rag drawer. Cut into squares, old T-shirts make the best cleaning rags imaginable. The cotton is soft enough for delicate surfaces, but durable enough for tough jobs. They're absorbent, washable, and when they finally fall apart after months of use, you don't feel bad throwing them away because they already had a full life as clothing. Your grandma probably had a whole system. White shirts became kitchen rags. Colored shirts were for dirty jobs, like cleaning the car or wiping up spills in the garage. The really soft ones were saved for dusting furniture. And flannel shirts? Those were gold. Perfect for polishing glass and mirrors without leaving lint. This wasn't just about being frugal, though that was certainly part of it. These homemade rags actually worked better than store-bought ones. They'd been washed dozens of times, so they were incredibly absorbent. Number 11. Shoe polish to restore leather. That expensive leather restoration kit at the furniture store? Your grandfather would have laughed at it. He had shoe polish, and that's all he needed. Black shoe polish for black leather furniture, brown for brown, clear for everything else. A little polish, a soft cloth, and some elbow grease could make a 20-year-old leather chair look like it just came from the showroom. The key was regular maintenance. He didn't wait for the leather to crack and fade. Every few months, out came the shoe polish. It conditions the leather, fills in small scratches, and adds a protective layer against future damage. Your leather jacket looking a bit worse for wear? Shoe polish? Leather purse lost its luster? Shoe polish. Even leather car seats got the shoe polish treatment. It's the same principle. Leather is leather, whether it's on your feet or your furniture. But here's the really clever part. Shoe polish can color match small repairs. Got a scratch on your leather couch? Find the right shade of polish and it practically disappears. Number 10. Coffee grounds to fertilize plants. We're back to coffee grounds, but this time for your garden. Your grandparents didn't know the science, but they knew their roses looked amazing when they dumped their morning coffee grounds around them. Turns out, coffee grounds are basically plant steroids. They're rich in nitrogen, which plants need for healthy growth. They also contain calcium, potassium, iron, phosphorus, magnesium, and chromium. It's like a multivitamin for your garden. But you can't just dump a pile of grounds and call it a day. Your grandma knew to mix them into the soil or compost them first. Fresh grounds are acidic, which acid-loving plants like azaleas, rhododendrons, and blueberries absolutely love. But even plants that prefer neutral soil benefit from composted coffee grounds. Here's something else she probably figured out through trial and error. Coffee grounds repel certain pests. Slugs and snails hate crawling over them. Cats avoid gardens with coffee grounds spread around. Some people even swear it keeps rabbits away. And if you make a ring of grounds around plants, it can deter cutworms and other crawling pests. The nitrogen in coffee grounds also speeds up composting. Your grandparents' compost pile probably had every morning's coffee grounds added to it. Number 9. Storing potatoes with apples. This one seems completely random until you understand the science. Your grandmother stored apples with her potatoes to keep them from sprouting. Sounds crazy, but it works. Apples release ethylene gas, which prevents potatoes from sprouting. 1 apple for every 10 pounds of potatoes, and those spuds stay fresh for weeks longer than they would otherwise. Your grandma's root cellar or pantry probably had this arrangement, and she might not have even known why it worked, just that it did. But here's where it gets interesting. She also knew never to store certain things together. Onions and potatoes? Never. Onions release moisture and gases that make potatoes rot faster. Bananas away from everything because they release so much ethylene they'll make everything around them ripen too fast. She had a whole mental map of what could be stored together and what needed to be kept apart. This knowledge saved money and reduced waste. In an era before preservatives and year-round grocery availability, knowing how to store food properly was essential. Those potatoes might need to last all winter. That apple arrangement wasn't just clever, it was survival. Number 8. Rubbing alcohol for cleaning glass and mirrors. Windex is expensive and full of chemicals. Your grandparents just used rubbing alcohol mixed with water. Equal parts in a spray bottle, maybe add a drop of dish soap if things are really grimy. This mixture cuts through fingerprints, hairspray residue, and toothpaste splatters like nobody's business. The alcohol evaporates quickly, leaving no streaks behind. Your grandmother probably cleaned every mirror and window in the house with this simple mixture. It cost pennies compared to commercial glass cleaners and worked just as well, if not better. Plus, rubbing alcohol disinfects as it cleans, so those bathroom mirrors weren't just streak-free, they were germ-free too. But rubbing alcohol's usefulness didn't stop at glass. Got permanent marker on something? Rubbing alcohol removes it. Sticky residue from labels? Rubbing alcohol? Ink stains on clothes? Dab with rubbing alcohol before washing. It even removes grass stains from kids' clothes. Your grandparents probably had a bottle under every sink in the house. At 70% concentration, it's strong enough to clean and disinfect, but safe enough to use around the house. And unlike many modern cleaners, the smell dissipates quickly, no artificial fragrances lingering for hours. Number 7. Frozen grapes as ice cubes. Your grandmother was serving bougie drinks before bougie was even a word. Frozen grapes instead of ice cubes. Genius. They keep your drink cold, without watering it down, and when you're done drinking, you've got a frozen snack. She probably discovered this serving wine at dinner parties, not wanting to dilute the good stuff with regular ice. But frozen grapes work in any drink. Kids love them in juice or lemonade. They're perfect in sangria or white wine. Even in water, they add a subtle sweetness as they thaw. Plus, they look fancy. Your guests think you're some kind of entertaining genius, when really you just threw some grapes in the freezer the night before. The trick is to wash and completely dry the grapes before freezing. Any moisture on the outside turns to ice and makes them stick together. Spread them on a baking sheet to freeze individually first, then transfer to a container. Your grandma probably had a permanent stash in the freezer. Green grapes, red grapes, maybe even some frozen berries for variety. It's such a simple trick, but it elevates any drink from ordinary to special. Number 6. Chalk to absorb moisture. That toolbox in your grandfather's garage probably had a few pieces of chalk in it, and not for marking measurements. Chalk is an incredible moisture absorber. Put a few pieces in your toolbox and your tools won't rust. It's that simple. The calcium carbonate in chalk naturally attracts and holds moisture from the air. Your grandparents use this trick everywhere. A piece of chalk in the silverware drawer prevents tarnishing. In the closet, it keeps clothes from getting that musty smell. In storage boxes, it prevents mildew. They probably had chalk strategically placed all over the house. But here's the really clever application. Gym bags and laundry hampers. Drop a piece of chalk in there, and it absorbs the moisture that causes odor. No more embarrassing smells when you open your gym bag at work. The chalk just quietly does its job, sucking up excess moisture before bacteria can grow. And when the chalk gets saturated, just put it in the sun to dry out, and it's good to go again. One box of chalk could last years, protecting thousands of dollars worth of tools, clothes, and household items. Your grandfather probably bought chalk by the box, and it wasn't for the grandkids to draw on the sidewalk. Number 5. Coconut oil for wood furniture. Before specialty wood polishes and conditioners, there was coconut oil. Your grandmother might have called it something else, but she knew that a little oil could make old wood furniture look new again. Coconut oil penetrates deep into the wood, moisturizing it from within and bringing out the natural grain. Take a small amount, warm it between your hands until it liquefies, then rub it into the wood with a soft cloth. The transformation is immediate. Dried, dull wood suddenly has depth and richness. Scratches become less noticeable. The wood feels smooth and nourished instead of dry and brittle. Your grandparents probably treated all their wood furniture this way twice a year. But coconut oil does more than just make wood pretty. It actually protects it. The oil creates a barrier against moisture and everyday wear. It prevents cracking and splitting. And unlike some commercial products, it doesn't build up a gunky residue over time. Just pure, natural protection that smells faintly of coconut. They also used it on cutting boards, wooden spoons, and salad bowls. Anything wood that came in contact with food got the coconut oil treatment. It's food safe, naturally antibacterial, and keeps wooden kitchen items from drying out and cracking. Number 4. Tension rod under the sink. That chaotic cabinet under your kitchen sink? Your grandmother had that figured out decades ago with one simple tension rod. Install it toward the front of the cabinet, and suddenly you've got a place to hang spray bottles. All your cleaning supplies are visible, accessible, and not falling over every time you reach for something in the back. This one little trick probably saved her hours of frustration over the years. No more digging through a pile of bottles to find the one you need. No more knocking things over and having to reorganize every time. Just grab what you need and go. But she didn't stop at one rod. Maybe another one further back for dish towels or rubber gloves. Some people even put them vertically to create dividers for storing cutting boards and baking sheets. The organization possibilities are endless. Your grandmother understood that good organization isn't about expensive systems or custom cabinets. It's about simple, practical solutions that actually work. A $3 tension rod solving a problem that modern organizing systems charge $50 to fix. Number 3. Freeze soup in muffin tins. Your grandmother was meal prepping before meal prepping was trendy. But instead of plastic containers taking up the whole freezer, she used muffin tins. Pour leftover soup into muffin tins, freeze solid, then pop them out and store in freezer bags. Each soup puck is a perfect single serving. Want lunch? Grab 2 pucks. Feeding the whole family? Grab 8. It's portion control and convenience rolled into one. No more defrosting an entire container of soup when you just want a bowl. This trick works for more than just soup. Sauce, stock, even leftover wine for cooking. Anything liquid that you want to save in portion-controlled amounts. Your grandma probably had bags of different frozen portions, all labeled with masking tape and a pencil. But here's the really smart part. Those soup pucks defrost faster than a big block of frozen soup, so you can go from frozen to hot soup in minutes instead of hours. And they stack efficiently in the freezer, taking up way less space than containers. She was basically running a personalized frozen food section out of her freezer, decades before anyone thought to sell individual soup portions in stores. Number 2, lemon and salt for cutting boards. That wooden cutting board that's seen better days, your grandmother could make it look and smell brand new with just a lemon and some coarse salt. Sprinkle salt all over the board, then use half a lemon as a scrubber. The salt acts as an abrasive, while the lemon juice disinfects and deodorizes. After years of cutting onions, garlic, and raw meat, that board gets funky, but this combination doesn't just clean the surface. The acid in the lemon actually kills bacteria that might be lurking in the tiny cuts and grooves. The salt scrubs away stains and helps the lemon penetrate deeper. Your grandma probably did this once a week, keeping her cutting boards in service for decades. After scrubbing, she'd rinse with hot water and let it dry completely. Maybe finish with a light coating of mineral oil or coconut oil to keep the wood from drying out. This same board that she got as a wedding gift was still going strong 50 years later. Compare that to modern plastic cutting boards that get stained, scratched, and gross-looking after a year. Wood, properly maintained with lemon and salt, is naturally antibacterial and self-healing. Small cuts in the wood actually close up over time. Your grandmother knew this intuitively. Number 1, vinegar and dish soap fruit fly trap. And here we are at number 1, the ultimate proof that your grandparents were household geniuses. Fruit flies, the scourge of every kitchen in summer. But while we're buying sticky traps and spray, your grandmother just grabbed the apple cider vinegar and dish soap. Here's her foolproof method. Pour some apple cider vinegar in a small bowl, add a drop or 2 of dish soap, and leave it on the counter. The fruit flies are attracted to the vinegar because it smells like fermenting fruit. But the dish soap breaks the surface tension of the liquid. When they land to take a sip, they fall right in and can't escape. It's diabolical in its simplicity. Within hours, that bowl is full of fruit flies. Problem solved. No chemicals, no expensive traps, just 2 things you already have in your kitchen. Your grandma probably had one of these traps going all summer long, just as a preventive measure. But here's what really makes this number 1. It represents everything about your grandparents' approach to household problems. They observed, they experimented, they found solutions using what they had. They didn't run to the store every time something came up. They figured it out. This fruit fly trap is the perfect example of their ingenuity. And there you have it. 25 household tricks that your grandparents used every single day without even thinking about it. These aren't just old-fashioned ideas that sort of work. These are proven solutions that are often better than what we use today. They're cheaper, safer, and in most cases, more effective. The real genius is that your grandparents figured all this out without the internet, without tutorials, without life hack videos. They just paid attention, shared knowledge with their neighbors, and weren't afraid to try things. So next time you're about to buy some expensive specialty product, ask yourself what your grandma would have done. The answer might surprise you. If you found even one tip in here helpful, hit that subscribe button because we've got plenty more where these came from. And drop a comment telling us which trick you're going to try first. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.